Bernardo, given a fundamental metaphysics of idealism, what are the implications for life after death?
So under analytic idealism, the question of life after death, it's a nuanced one, so bear with me. I think that there is only one field of subjectivity in nature. I think everything else can be reduced to its patterns of excitation. So I'm an extreme reductionist in that sense. But that means that the subjectivity behind your eyes is the same subjectivity behind my eyes. And that doesn't disappear with death, because it's what there is.
That's all it is.
It's all there is, and it's always there. Where is it going to go, right? It's what there is. But I think personal agency, individuated awareness, I think that's the result of a process of dissociation in this one universal field of subjectivity. And life, metabolism, is what the dissociation looks like. So death, the end of life, is the end of the dissociation and the end of personal agency. It's the end of Bernardo Kastrup and Robert Lawrence Kuhn. Should we...
Speak for yourself.
I'm not too distressed about it, because core subjectivity, what philosopher Itay Shani calls core subjectivity, what Schopenhauer referred to as the one eye of the world that looks out from every creature. That's what I am. Everything else is a narrative. It's a psychological configuration, like a dissociative configuration. It's not really what I am. What I really am is what there is. It's not going anywhere. But Bernardo Kastrup, yeah, that comes to an end.
That sounds very much like the Vedanta's Advaita Vedanta, in terms of there at least one school that has your drop of consciousness being merged into the ocean, the cosmic ocean of consciousness.
Yeah, I tend to be a little less romantic than that. But yeah, I'm not surprised that if this is true, that different cultures over thousands of years would have bumped their noses against this. So to me, it's reassuring that the world's most sophisticated philosophy school has come to the same conclusion.
Does it give you greater comfort to know that that was the case rather than materialism, or it doesn't really matter? Materialism, you just disappear and totally. Here, your essence sort of is reabsorbed, but it was never changed. It's just the dissociation that it was kind of bubbled off, and now it sort of blends back in.
It gives meaning to my life, because I know that what I contribute to the world doesn't come to an end with my death. If the subjectivity behind my eyes has learned what it learned, then it continues to exist with what it learned.
What continues to exist?
If nature is looking out through all of our eyes, and that subjectivity continues, then however nature is changing, because it's observing itself through our eyes, survives our end. And that gives meaning to my life. I was of service to nature. Nature didn't come to an end, I did. My service to nature survives in nature. But if you ask me, and a lot of people don't believe this, but if I say something else, I would be lying. I'll not do that. I was more comfortable under materialist premises, because under materialism, there is nobody there to witness the process of death, which is a fantastic change in our state of consciousness. You take psychedelics, your brain activity reduces a little bit, and you already undergo ego death, which is very hard, very difficult to experience. Imagine when your metabolism ceases altogether. And under analytic idealism, there will be a subject experiencing the process. And no, I don't like that.
No. The dissociation that disappears, what happens to dissociation at death?
Well, if life is what the dissociation looks like, and life meaning metabolism, active metabolism, and death is the end of life, then death is the end of the dissociation. If the image stops and disappears, the phenomenon it's an image of should also stop.
And everything that was Bernardo Kastrup, the memories, experiences, everything that were instantiated neurologically in your brain is what it looked like on a third-person basis But it was really a representation of the, it was really a representation of the,
of a deeper process. Yeah. But and then you could say.
But then it totally disappears. There's no imprint that those brain states made on the.
There seems to be, and again, I'm a very empirically oriented person. Over 10 years ago, Michael Levin ran an experiment in which he trained planaria, these little aquatic worms, to navigate a maze to find food. And then he decapitated the planaria, and their nervous system is entirely in their heads. Now, planaria have this miraculous ability to grow new heads. But the original head that knew how to navigate the maze was gone. And he asked himself, will the new planaria with the new head still remember how to navigate the maze? And lo and behold, yeah, they remember how to navigate the maze. And after a century looking for memories as little files stored in the brain, we haven't found it, despite dramatic headlines claiming otherwise. When you read the papers, no, nobody has found it. So it would appear that memories are not in the brain. And if they are not, then the end of the brain is not necessarily the end of memories, including your life's memories.
So what follows from that? That sounds like you're saying that there's a possibility that something of you that can survive the end of the dissociation of your metabolism.
Yeah, I don't think our personal agency survives. Just like our avatar agency doesn't survive waking up from the dream. Your dream avatar is toast when you wake up, but you still remember the dream from the avatar's point of view. I think given the state of play in memory research, it is empirically conceivable that our memories survive the end of our personal agency somewhere in some structure in nature that we still haven't managed to discern.
That potentially could give you the agency, though.
Well, you wouldn't be able to act as that agent in the same way that you cannot act as your dream avatar after you wake up. And now you know you're the mind that did the whole dream. You're no longer a separated agent within your own dream. So so
all your memories are kind of floating out there?
In psychology, there is a good reason to think that memories stay together in the form of complexes because they have an emotional charge that they sort of evoke one another. So there could be life complexes floating out there, which may be what people describe in NDEs when they say, I've met somebody who was dead. Maybe they came across a life complex that is instantiated in some structure.
It would seem like, as an idealist with everything being part of the universal subjectivity, that there could be more possibilities than we can imagine.
There could, but I would be very careful running too far with that.